hoping for a fight. Maybe then Beverly would call off this ridiculous sham of a wedding. I placed the card on the accepts pile, which was now as high as my coffee mug, and the only pile. No one had declined the invitation. Well, not yet. The wedding was set to take place on Wednesday, April 29th, which was an insanely short amount of time to plan a wedding, especially when the accepted guests totaled 106 so far. Besides, who got married on a Wednesday? Aren't weddings supposed to be on weekends? Beverly had decided to get married here in Davenport House. On the grounds, rather. It was going to be a garden wedding, which I thought were the most beautiful, to be honest, especially at this time of the year. The fruit trees were in blossom, and the air was sweet with the scent of honey and the spicy scent of lilacs. I had no doubt it would be quite the event. I just didn't know how they were going to pull off a massive wedding in 4 days. Magic was the answer. It couldn't happen without it. If anyone could pull off a big wedding in 4 days, my aunts could. After I gulped down another sip of delicious coffee, I grabbed my pen and went back to work. I stared at what I'd written so far, wondering what else to add to my list. "What you doing?" A black cat leaped up on the table and padded over to me. His silky fur caught the sunlight through the window, making it sparkle like a precious stone. I wrapped the notepad with my pen. This, my dear four-legged fellow, is my How to Get Back at Allison list. The cat's yellow eyes rounded. Sounds like fun. Can I help? I grinned. You may. Excellent. The black cat lay down on the table, his eyes half closed in that lazy cat way, with the tip of his tail twitching. What do you have so far? I have a permanent butt rash hex, courtesy of Iris. I've got an extra-long chin hairs curse, the kind that even when you pluck, they just keep growing back. I've got a permanent baldness curse, and then my favorite, chlamydia. Hildo laughed. You're evil. You're like one of Disney's top 10 villains. I like it. The cat crossed his front paws. You know, I just so happen to have in my possession a curse that makes it so she can no longer remember any of her passwords. Ha! I laughed, excitement rushing through me. That's a really good one. Thanks. I'll take it. I hadn't forgotten or forgiven Allison for what she'd done. By disobeying Marcus and bringing me to the mourning werewolf's parents with basically a sign on my forehead that said, "Witch, I killed your sons," she'd wanted me hurt or worse. She'd hoped the werewolves might have taken me out of the picture so she could finally have Marcus all to herself. I wasn't a vindictive person, but this time Gorilla Barbie had gone too far. It was game on as far as I was concerned, and I was going to win. The toaster rattled and bounced. A message card came soaring in the air, and I snatched it up again. I smiled. I'm getting really good at this. How many have accepted so far? Asked the cat familiar, his gaze shifting to the pile of message cards. I glanced down at the card, and then at the cat. 107 now. A sound came from the cat, which I suspected was his attempt at a whistle, but it came out like a long, weird hiss. How many invitations were sent? No idea. Ruth was in charge of sending those. It's going to be a big wedding, remarked the cat, between bouts of licking his front paw in a rather stately fashion. A big, fat, witchy wedding. I hadn't been to many weddings in my life. Never a witch wedding, or any type of paranormal one. I was probably just as excited to be there as Beverly was. Well, maybe not as much, but a close second. Speaking of Beverly, did you get more scoop on this Derrick character? I asked the cat, my mouth curled in displeasure at the name. The cat lowered his ears. Nothing new since last night. Though I did hear he was coming over for dinner tonight to meet the sisters and the family. My eyebrows shot to my hairline. That is excellent news, my furry friend. Just excellent.